Hi everybody, it is the 28th of March 2023 and update 5, or which I guess would be Hotfix 4 for PC and console DayZ, has just been released. It's only a little one, this one, and I'm reading the console patch notes here, and I just wanted to quickly go through the patch notes, but also I kind of want to add an addendum on the end as well, which may help people when considering the state that DayZ sometimes gets into and the frustrations that often we can have. Okay, so here we go. So console stable 1.2 update, update 5, fixed. And now these first few things apply to PC as well. Kick messages were displayed public on the server. And players met on a server were not properly displayed. So it's pretty good, isn't it? I guess if someone gets kicked, you don't always want to see it, especially, if it's not really their fault, if it's a network fault or something like that. On Xbox, fixed the game crash related to user login. Xbox individual characters were not properly displayed in the user's gamertag. Xbox, after re-entering a suspended game, no disconnect messages were displayed. Xbox, switching profiles in the constrained mode, wouldn't switch the profile session, not quite sure what that means. PlayStation, entering the server browser without active internet connection could result in a crash. So again, what we're seeing here is we're seeing kind of the final bits of update 1.20 kind of being sorted out and polished off, ready, I guess, for update 1.21, which can't be that far behind around the corner. So I also wanted to quickly add about why DayZ doesn't make big leaps forward in terms of the development of the game. And I talked about this on stream a couple of nights ago. And I think it may help people to consider the resources that Bohemia Interactive have and the DayZ devs have, and the long-term goals of DayZ devs, the Bohemia Interactive publishers, and us as players as well. And I think for me, the long-term goal, I think, for all of us as players is to have a DayZ that runs incredibly smoothly, has mods on console, we can put helicopters into it, and does all those wonderful things that can happen on PC but come through the Steam Workshop. That's ultimately what we want, isn't it? And ultimately, that's what the DayZ devs want as well. Unfortunately, though, we've kind of got to accept that that cannot happen with the current DayZ engine, or it'd be very, very difficult to do with the current DayZ engine. The amount of work that the DayZ devs would have to put in and Bohemia Interactive would have to put in to get that sort of performance out of the current engine, it just doesn't make sense, because, and this is the reason why, because they're working on the new Enfusion engine for Arma 4. So if you weren't aware already, for Xbox and PC, you can play Arma Reforger, which is like this beta test, this playground, this testbed platform for the new Enfusion engine, which Arma 4 is going to run on. And the idea with this engine is it takes lots of the good things that Bohemia Interactive have learnt from DayZ, and the good things that they've learnt from Arma 3. So you've got like the old Enfusion engine, you've got the real virtuality engine, and everything else that's been kind of clamped on in different positions. And the explosion of DayZ users that happened when DayZ came to console, and they're bringing this all together with the new Enfusion engine and Arma 4, which is probably, I don't know, let's say it's 2 years away. And so most of Bohemia Interactive resources are going to be going into getting that engine working in a way that they want to be. So it's smooth, it makes it very easy to mod, and very importantly, the workshop for mods is built into the game, which means you can have mods on console, which is what we have with Xbox Reforger. The mods, that are on PC are on Xbox as well. The helicopters, the different vehicles, the different weapons, they're within the Xbox game. So you've got to ask yourself, if you were in Bohemia Interactive's shoes, where, you're not a small developer, but you're not massive, you're not Activision, so you have limited resources, what do you think they would be better off spending their time and money and their resources on? Fixing up DayZ to be able to have helicopters and tanks and run much more smoothly? Or should you be spending your time getting this new engine working flawlessly, so that when that is working and when Arma 4 is with us, they can then turn their resources and their money to DayZ 2, or whatever the next version of DayZ could possibly be? And I think that's the best way to think about it. And one doesn't want to. And I still think it's great that we are getting updates to DayZ. You know, the fact that we're getting new stuff and we're getting fixes. You know, and this year is going to be the year I think we're going to see a lot of things coming to console that are on PC in terms of control of things like new player spawn equipment and spawn gadgets and that sort of stuff. But ultimately, what needs to happen for the DayZ devs to make their lives much easier is this transition to Infusion, and that is down the road. That's 2 years down the road when Armour 4 gets released. That's when I think you'll see you'll see DayZ 2 come out. Because make no bones about it, DayZ is a massive money earner for Bohemia Interactive, and probably I would have thought within the console community especially, DayZ is a bigger name than Armour. So I personally think that a DayZ 2 would sell more on console than Armour 4 would on console, because DayZ is much more of a casual game, isn't it, than Armour is. So try and think long term. So when those vehicles are being a little bit glitchy or flying off the road, when you throw that weapon on the floor and it disappears under the ground, when you log back in to find parts of your base missing, just stop and think for a second and think, it's okay, it's all right. We're going to be getting DayZ 2 on the new Infusion engine in a couple of years, and I'm glad they're working on that, because that's a long-term goal. Anyway, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Am I crazy? Put your questions and comments down below, and I will, of course, see you again soon.